help naturally quiet people overcome social anxiety, build confidence connecting with people, develop their natural strengths, seeds of talent, and follow their purpose, develop a great lifestyle. All humans, me included, are run by fear. Some people are aware of this, and other people are naive to this truth. So, for example, I'm willing to bet that a number of people watching this video are stuck in a job which they don't enjoy, a 9-to-5 job which isn't their purpose in life due to fear. What if I leave the job and I regret this decision? What if I snooker myself? What if I'm unsuccessful at achieving my purpose? What will my parents think of me if I change career path? I'm also willing to bet that some people watching this video will be stuck in a relationship that they don't want to be in. Afraid of leaving? Well, if I leave, then I'll be single again. What if I don't meet somebody else? What if this is the best that the world has in store for me right now, and I snooker myself when I'm stuck by leaving this relationship? I'm willing to bet that many people watching this video suffer with social anxiety, afraid of talking to people. What if people judge me? What if they have negative opinions about me? What if I get rejected? I get put down. My self-image is crushed. I feel humiliated. Will I be able to handle this and bounce back? So everybody is run by fear. And something that I've discovered in my journey for the past 10 years is that overcoming fears is how you unlock confidence and change your life. So one of the main methods, the tools that I have for helping clients out, is exposure therapy. I help clients get exposure therapy, and I manage their expectation along the journey so they're happy and they get the life experience that they really need to transform in confidence. I was having a great conversation yesterday about why some people are successful in life and why other people are not successful. And of course, success means different things to different people. But no one person can succeed at everything in life. Just like there's different breeds of dogs, there's Labradors, Chihuahuas, Greyhounds, Pit Bulls. There's different breeds of humans, different types of people. And there's certain career paths that you're not going to be cut out for, but other career paths where you can thrive. How do you succeed, in my opinion, and achieve a great career, great lifestyle, feel happy, feel content, unlock your true potential? My answer to this is you first have to figure out what your natural strengths are. Everybody has something that they're really good at. And if you're thinking, I don't have something which I'm great at, you probably just haven't discovered it yet, you're not aware, or you're not being honest with yourself. I've coached many people who've thought that they don't have natural strengths to begin with, but when they've looked back, they've realized that, do you know what? Whenever I'm acting, I come alive and I'm really, really good in that situation. Or whenever I'm doing solo sports like long distance running, I'm really, really good. I'm patient. Some people are super analytical and they're great at analyzing data. There's a whole bunch of different natural strengths out there. And when you find what your natural strengths are, the next step is to figure out what your unique purpose is. But there's a bunch of great books out there which you can read, which have helped a lot of people figure out what their purpose is. A great one is Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. And Viktor Frankl is a guy that survived the Holocaust in World War II, and he experienced time in different concentration camps, went through the worst time imaginable. And he was a psychologist. And he wrote this book, Man's Search for Meaning, on how to find purpose and meaning under adversity. And something which I remember from the book is, even if you don't know what your purpose is yet, I'm paraphrasing this, life is asking you questions right now. Right now in life, you're being asked questions. There will be some challenges going on, I'm sure of it. Unless you're some kind of guru, you're going to be going through challenges which are part of the human condition and just part of being a person on this planet. It's normal to be going through challenges. So you are being asked questions of life. Purpose, motivation, it's all about the why. Why you're doing what you're doing. What do you enjoy? And most people's purpose is some sort of version of, I want to be happy and content, and I want to give back to society, give back to others, give back to the world. Something which goes beyond the ego, something which involves giving. Taking isn't really a purpose, or not a purpose that I can resonate with. So it's being happy and giving to others. But the way in which you give to others depends on what you enjoy, what you're passionate about, and what your unique strengths are. So in my case, I was stuck in, I want to say a 9 to 5, but really it was more hours than that. So I was doing a PhD in pharmacology. I was in the medical school, University of Birmingham, doing experiments in a lab and doing some computer simulations. This was my past life before becoming an entrepreneur and coach. It was okay. I got a scholarship, so I was being paid to do this. And I was working full-time, Monday to Friday, and often in quite a bit over the weekends as well. If you're doing a PhD, it's more than the average working hours, a lot more. So I was full-time doing this, and I knew that it wasn't my purpose in life. I could get by working super hard, studying, pushing myself, being consistent. I could do enough to get by, and in the end I did relatively decent in the PhD. But it wasn't my purpose in life, and I wasn't playing to my strengths. And at the same time, I knew what my, and I was transitioning to live my purpose full time. So I was building a coaching business to help out other people through personal experience who want to grow in confidence with others. get fit and healthy, transform as a person, transform their lifestyle. I was receiving coaching. I was being mentored on a weekly basis. I was growing in confidence a lot myself, really continuing my personal journey. And I was building a free business to get experience, which turned into a paid business. And it's a full-time business. And I'm living it right now and have been doing for the past few years. So a lot of excuses can go in people's brains. I can't possibly build a business or live my purpose because I have a job, I don't have time, the job eats away at my time, and therefore it's impossible for me to transition in career. This isn't true because I've transitioned in career. I was working more than the average hours in the PhD and building a business at the same time. So I was able to make that transition, and I'm not cut from a different cloth than you. There's nothing uniquely special about me. I mean, in a sense, there is something uniquely special about everybody because everyone has different strengths. But just as I've got my natural strengths and my purpose, you've got your natural strengths and your purpose. So my whole thing as a coach, it's not about changing other people at the core, changing someone's core personality. That's always going to be the same. It's about helping people realize their potential, become the best, most confident version of themselves, and just really boss it in life. It can start with the personal, private victories. For example, you developing confidence, speaking to people, having good interactions, holding your own, having good boundaries, being yourself, being authentic, getting fit and healthy. These private personal victories where you know you're living a good life, you know you're being yourself and you're feeling good about it. Then the private victories can turn into public ones when you start to help others out. You start to give. Whether it's by doing in-person events, which is what I've done, social media, something that I'm doing more and more of. Whatever your method of outreach is, writing a blog, a book, you can then start to help other people out and people can notice. You can take action on transitioning to a career that you really want to while doing a career that you're not enjoying, but you're doing it to pay the bills. So career transitions, even really big and bold ones, are possible. And if I do it, I know others can as well. I'm currently helping out a client, Liam. He's going through a career transition, going from a job in a factory to a customer service role. Something which he's going to enjoy more. And a lot of the time, fear is in the mind. It's an illusion, but it feels so real. The thoughts are scary, but the reality isn't that bad. The thought of changing job can be terrifying. It can paralyze you. Oh my God, I'm going to change job. How will I manage? Will I be able to handle this? Will I be able to handle that? The thought can be so scary that it keeps people paralyzed. And this is because fear is designed to keep you safe. It's part of your biology. Its role is to keep you in familiar territory, in the comfort zone, because you've survived so far. And it's a risk in the eyes of fear for you to step outside of your comfort zone and do something different. So the thoughts are really, really scary. They're the big boss to conquer. But it's an illusion. You can see other people that are not better than you in any way, not worse, not better, equal, and they've transitioned in career. And you're like, wow, so these guys have done it. This girl's done it. Okay, interesting. That counts as evidence. If they can do it, maybe I can do it. Maybe I can do it. And you don't need to have a concrete belief. Of course I can do it. You don't need to be that confident. You just need to have hope. Realistic hope. Okay, these people have done it. Perhaps it's possible for me to do the same. This is you starting the process of overcoming a fear. There's a bit of initial belief because you've found other people that have done something that you want to achieve. And then you can start to look back at your past and think, wait a second, well, I've got a job once, I've got a career, so why couldn't I do it a second time? An interview is just talking to people. I've passed one before, I can pass one again. You start to look back at your past for evidence that you can achieve this, and you realize that there is evidence there. Analogy for how this works. So, jigsaw puzzles. They're a complete picture, but made up of different pieces. And the complete picture would be full confidence and belief that you can do this thing that you're currently afraid to do. Maybe you don't have enough evidence to have this full picture just yet. That's okay. We don't need to have a full picture to make a start. We can start by collecting one jigsaw piece of evidence. Do you know what? There was a time where I passed an interview in the past when I was younger. So I have done an interview in the past and that was okay. That's a jigsaw piece. Wow, okay. This other person that is not that much different than me, they've made a career transition and they're happier. That's another bit of evidence. You keep collecting the evidence. And as you collect more and more evidence, this picture, this jigsaw puzzle becomes more complete. And when the jigsaw puzzle is complete, that's when by the time it's complete, you've already overcome your fear. You've already changed job and you've handled it. So you don't need to, it's not like you're standing at the bottom of the staircase and jumping to the top. It's not like that. You don't need to know every single step of the way to make a start. You just need to go at one step, then from this new position, go up another step. You don't need to think too far ahead. How can I make progress towards this goal? That helps out with fear. You're overcoming a fear. Don't say to yourself, let's overcome the whole fear right now. Let's go for the kill. There's times when that might be appropriate. You can just say, how can I make progress? For example, okay, I'm afraid of going out there and talking to people. That's scary to me. I'm a bit nervous about that. How could I make progress? Well, maybe if I joined a running club, I could start doing runs with other people there, and I could be by myself, true. But while I'm there, I might naturally chat to somebody. Might chat to one person. Great. You join a club. Then you're making progress. Naturally, you're speaking to people and you're building a bit of confidence around others. Then you might think, well, the running club's good. How about I up the ante a little bit? I go on the website or the app, meetup.com. I find events that look quite fun, but not too intimidating For example, a small board game social. Okay, there's a dinner club, they're having food and a chat. There's 5 people going. This sounds like something which isn't too intimidating, but still makes me a bit scared. Go out and face your fear, and you do this. And bit by bit, you're getting that exposure therapy. And suddenly, the fear's getting less and less and less. As you're getting the exposure, you're getting proof that you're safe in this situation. You don't need to be so afraid. You're enough as you are, and you can handle it. These fears are often an illusion, but they can keep you trapped. They can keep you stuck in a job you don't want to be in for your entire life. And I bet you can find examples of real people in your life, family, friends, etc., who've been stuck in a job they don't want to be in for their whole life because they were too afraid to change job. Paralyzed by the fear, because the thought of something can be so scary and so intimidating, it can make you freeze up. But when you're taking bits of action without that much thinking, you're getting evidence and you're chipping away at that fear bit by bit. It's almost like when you're frozen in the fear, you're surrounded by a block of ice, but you're chipping away at that ice, and at some point you're going to break through. You're going to break off that ice, that wall of fear, and then you're going to feel relaxed and calm, composed and loose in a situation rather than frozen. So another mindset way of framing things which helps out my clients. There's 2 steps to conquering a fear. The first step is to do it, to face that fear. That's one level of facing fear and being brave. Then the next level is to face it again, but without protecting yourself. To let your guard down, to be vulnerable, not resist the fear at all. You can be lazy when you're afraid. You don't need to do anything. It's about what you're not doing. What you're not doing is pandering to the fear. If you feel afraid right now, be grateful for that. Awesome. The sparring partner of fear is here right now. Amazing. This means I have a chance to make progress in my life, a chance to move forwards. And you can be super lazy. You don't need to do anything to get rid of the fear. Just allow it to be there. Enjoy feeling how you're feeling. Observe the tricks of the mind, the way that fear tries to sabotage you, but don't engage with it. Allow the process to unfold. Allow yourself to express that fear, to feel the fear. It flows through your body and you can release. Is what a lot of people do. Panic when you're afraid. Fear making you feel more afraid. Then because you feel more afraid, you panic. Then you panic because you've panicked. And before you know it, you've hit the ceiling with stress. You don't want to do that. And I promise you that exposure therapy does work for overcoming fear, but when done in the right way. And if you don't believe me just yet, think about astronauts. They're braving going into space. I'm pretty sure the thought of going into space, when you face it, is terrifying. And they have to remain completely cool, completely calm, and relaxed, and in control of the rocket. Lots of things can go wrong. They have to be able to solve problems on the fly. So how do they learn to not panic? It's exposure therapy, simulations, lots of simulations which replicate different parts of the experience. What does it feel like to be in space? What does it feel like to travel in a rocket? They get used to it. What does it smell like? They're facing the situation so many times that it just becomes normal to them, and they learn to relax rather than panic in that situation. So, controlled simulations and exercises, this is how they overcome the fear of going into space. If they can overcome the fear of going into space, surely you can overcome your fear of public speaking, your fear of passing an interview, your fear of going to a gym, meeting new people, forming new connections, speaking with confidence, listening with confidence. This is how I coach people. Because I'm there providing a steady hand, in a way, they're getting lots of experience speaking controlled simulations. At my events, people are speaking with confidence, getting exposure to other people, learn to put their guard down, talk about their emotions, get what's bothering them off their chest, really open up, really connect with others. So this is how I help people overcome social anxiety. It's exposure therapy. And it's through the conversation. When you boil down most fears, it's a fear of chatting to people. That's ultimately what it is. When you decrust it and you get facts, you get to the core, you undress the fear itself. It's a fear of talking to people. What if I talk to somebody and there's awkwardness that I have to feel in that conversation? There's uncertainty. What if I talk to somebody and they disagree? What if someone ignores me? What if someone interrupts me? What if they're rude to me? What if they say something that offends me? They challenge my beliefs. Talking to people can be very, very scary. What if we get into an argument and it gets heated? So many what if fears. So when I'm coaching clients, I get them to open up, talk about what's bothering them, so they feel more relaxed, they feel more connected and confident with me. And the idea is they can use me as practice. Speak about the things that you really want to speak about, but you're struggling to speak about with other people. I'm not going to judge you. I'm going to listen. I'm going to make sure you're heard and understood. So you get a chance to freely speak, explore your ideas, and my goal as a coach is to help you feel more secure and confident being yourself. So if I see a perspective which is limiting, beliefs that are holding you back, I can challenge those beliefs, and I will do. Because I know that these irrational beliefs, if someone falsely believes that they have to be perfect, they're not good enough for this reason or that reason, and I can help them see that situation differently, change their perspective, that's going to change their behavior and change their results. When you change your perspective and your behavior, the emotions catch up. You start to feel better. You feel more connected to yourself and others. You feel more relaxed. So overcoming fears is how you change your life. And the only way is through exposure therapy, just doing it. But you, of course, have to do it in a smart way, and you have to do it properly. You don't have to do something which completely overwhelms you. But it's important that you are challenging yourself to grow. In my case, I'm going the extra mile in my business, doing things that bring on more fear, more regularly, more selling, for example. So you start to identify the blocking you and holding you back, and you incrementally desensitize yourself to those fears. What's going to make someone more confident? Giving a public talk, having meditated to try and release or change their beliefs around a talk, someone that's done some hypnosis, or someone that's done 50 public talks in the past. My money is on the guy who's done a public talk 50 times already to be more confident, because he's got more exposure and more experience. And as you know now, it's possible to get a lot of experience without growing as much as you might want to. And this often happens when people are not being themselves when they're getting the experience. When you're getting experience, but really your guard's up, you're in a character, you're acting, you're not being your authentic self. The core of who you are is not getting that exposure. You're getting proof that, but you're not getting proof that the more vulnerable, unmasked, real you is safe. So getting experience is great, but getting experience whilst being yourself, that's exceptional. That's how you develop real confidence. And this is what my one-to-one sessions are about. I'm getting people to actually be themselves. No social mask, no front, no facade. Really be yourself, how you are right now. Talk about the challenges you're going through, what you're actually feeling. Talk about your anxiety, your nerves, your fears, what the voice in your head's saying, the inner demons, the inner critic. Taking what's on the inside and verbalizing, vocalizing. So I'm getting you to feel more confident actually being yourself, and you're getting that true exposure therapy. And most people take this with them into other areas of life. Because if you can get more confident speaking to one person, you can get more confident speaking to a group. The same principle, facing other fears, whether it's a fear of traveling, whether it's a fear of finances, anxiety around your health, career, whatever it is that you're focused on. And going further, this is a great way to overcome fears and blockages. It's sure to bring up fears. If you commit fully to succeeding in your life and just go for it, you're going to feel afraid. Be a brick wall of fear. And in that moment, you might think, wow, this is so hard. I don't know if I can carry on going down this path. I've just come up against this big fear. The big fear is tough. I don't know if I can go much further. This is where you push through. You keep on going. You relax. You keep moving forwards and don't panic. And at some point, the fear just pops and you're on a different level. You're now more confident, less held back by fear. And this journey, it worked 100%. When I was in high school and college as well, but more so high school, to be truthful, I had a few year period where I was mute, borderline mute. I would speak 1 to 2 times a day. That was about it. So I was the most quiet person in the whole year in high school. In college, I literally made 0 friends. I isolated myself from every person, was a loner, wasn't happy, was depressed, self-harming, and really not in a good place at all. Didn't understand people, didn't know how to fit in, how to talk to other people, how to have a conversation. These were just things that I didn't understand and they made no sense to me. So if I can go from that place to this place where I do in-person events with 50 people, I'm public speaking, I'm coaching others on building confidence, then I have no doubt that this process of personal growth works wonders. And this isn't about gimmicky shortcuts. A lot of people online are looking for quick fixes. What's the trick to be more confident? What's the secret? What are the 3 tips? This is what people are looking for because they struggle with the fear that it's not easy to build confidence. It is hard work. You will have to face fears. There's not a trick or a go around. You have to actually do it. And that's hard. And this is why the best coaches are honest with clients and provide help and support. Help and support for overcoming fear, reducing anxiety, building confidence, connecting with people. This is what helps others out. And it's always crazy to me to think that we're afraid of speaking to each other. We're so afraid of talking, and it's so simple. You can talk by yourself all day and you're not afraid, and suddenly you're talking with somebody else and the fear comes up. It's crazy, but it's true. A lot of people are paralyzed around other people. I know people that find crowds really, really scary. And if I've done a session with somebody and they've come with me, we've been walking around, I can see them really nervous of the crowds. Oh my God, there's so many people. This is so nerve-wracking. They're afraid of being judged by other people. And something I've noticed when people get more confident is their eye contact's different. They're more observant. Whatever situation they're in, they're catching other people's eye, they're processing information. And they're making better eye contact with me because they're now focused differently. In the past, their eyes are darting about really fast because they're afraid. And that's what worry does. But over time, the eye contact. So overcoming fears is about turning something that's scary into something which is normal. That's really what it boils down to. And it might sound like a trivial example, but crossing roads. When you actually think about it, when you're crossing a road, there's cars traveling at a fast pace. You could get a kill situation. If you make a wrong move, if you misread a situation, or there's a crazy driver, you might get run over and you might die. But I've not met a single person that has panic attacks about crossing roads. I've never met someone that feels drained after crossing roads because everybody else does it, so it's normal. You've learned a way to navigate the situation safely. And people don't talk about it much. They don't talk about it much, which means that you don't view it as a problem. And because of this, it doesn't bother you. You can do the same with other situations. Facing fear, but not talking about it too much. Say, okay, I'm afraid of going out there and socializing, so I'm going to do it. And don't think beyond that. It's so tempting to create a drama in your mind, but you don't need to do that. You can just go out there, keep it normal, just do it, just have a chat, go away and carry on with your day. Don't make it into a big deal. This is about overcoming fears, not creating them, not feeding them. So as well as facing things that you're afraid of, not making them into a bigger deal and bigger problem than they are. This is how you learn to not panic so much. It's the art of unlearning the panic response. There's times where you can't help panicking. And when that's the case, just don't panic about the fact that you're panicking. Whatever level the fear's at, don't be afraid to feel afraid, as my mentor used to say to me. Feel the fear and do it anyway. You know the book, the great classic self-help book. So exposure therapy is the best way to overcome fears. And do it in a way where you actually enjoy it is also really important. If you're not having much fun, you find the process to be miserable, you're judging yourself all the time, it's a grueling experience, it's going to be hard to stick to it on a long-term basis. But if you have a healthy relationship with facing fears in whatever area you're looking to grow in, then you're going to be more likely to stick to it on a long-term basis and actually get good. The best advice when it comes to learning how to draw, learning art, is to just draw. Just draw, just do it, and get your experience. It's the same with getting confident with people. Just talk. Be willing to fail, be willing to make mistakes and bounce back. It's not that big a deal. You have to be willing to explore in order to figure out how things work. So right now, I've never tried clicking the different buttons on the live stream, so I can actually see what they do, which is exploring. If you're not actually exploring situations, you're not exploring fears, you're not facing them fully. You're just facing them a little bit. You're partially facing fears rather than fully facing them. And if you're not, the experience is limited. So if you want to get confident public speaking, this is why you need a lot of experience public speaking. Different situations. What if I'm not in the best mood when I'm doing a public talk? What if I'm tired? What if the setup of the room's different? What if this is how the anxiety works? So it's about fully facing a fear and being willing to explore it rather than just facing it a little bit. So just with this in mind, I'm going to try these other buttons on my stream and see what happens. Explore. And yeah, it should be kind of interesting to learn. Okay. Sometimes my stream freezes a bit. That's okay. So facing fears, overcoming them is a great path to be on if you want to grow in confidence and change your life. It's not an easy path to be on. Willing to make mistakes, of course. This is literally why I'm clicking different buttons on my stream, just to actually see what happens. You have to be willing to experiment, is what I'm saying. And something that I'm going to figure out on my streams in the coming days. So it could be a bug on my YouTube channel. Not quite sure, but I'll have a go, experiment, figure it out. I can't see any chat window or seem to post in it. There's no kind of button on my phone that is allowing me to do this. So I'll figure that out, because one of my ideas is to do these streams and ask a question to people coming on. Have a chat box there, a question, so people can post, join in. I think that's enough about this subject for the time being. I have several other business tasks to get on with today, and I'm coaching a client, Samantha, this evening as well. So I'm going to leave you to get on and enjoy the rest of your day. Until next time, Phil.